Welcome to class number 1 of Radiant Face and Flower Medicine. And we're going to be talking in this series and experiencing the power of working with flowers to relax your face and also vitalize your face. Now, why flowers? Why do we use flowers to vitalize our face? There's so many great reasons, but if you think about a lot of Eastern philosophy talks about the lotus flower, yes, as this metaphor for the heart. And in this series, we're going to be connecting your heart to your face. And by opening this connection between the heart and face, your face will be not only supported by the fire and the sun that's in the heart, but I hope transformed, by the vitality that flowers bring to us. And I have, a special guest, and I hope this stays for the whole series, but this is my little friend here to inspire. And you may want to have a flower around you during the series as kind of a also special friend to inform you, and also pay attention to the flowers that you run into, that you start to notice because of this series, because flowers reflect so many things. I don't want to give it all away right at the beginning, but they have a connection to the vitality of the planet for the future. And when things are bleak, we give flowers to people. And when we are feeling love, we give flowers. So flowers are such a symbol of the heart, and they are also what our faces represent. Okay, flowers are both masculine and feminine. They hold both masculine, feminine principles in them. And so do we. Even if you are female or male or non-binary, doesn't matter, because we carry both our mothers and fathers and our ancestors in our faces. So very much like flowers, our faces represent both genders. They represent the the future, right? The flowers are pointing to what's going to be the fruit. So I just love it. So anyhow, as we experience this series, working with our faces, you will connect to the creativity in the heart and the vitality in the heart. And we're hopefully going to clear a lot of old tension from your face. And not only your tension, but your ancestors' tension. So let's really go for it. So let's start with just a little warm up, as I usually do, some rubbing of your hands, and you can interlace your fingers and breathe through your nose. And this is how a lot of people pray, right? They have their hands in front of their hearts. So this is a very deep mudra that we're doing here with some movement. So you're waking up the hands and waking up the brain, and it's right in front of your heart. Okay, now with the hands activated, and this series, by the way, is going to really sensitize your hands in a way, I hope, to just blow your mind. But anyway, it'll really sensitize your hands. So now place your hands gently on your face. And if you didn't wash your hands, stop and go wash your hands and come back. But put your hands on your face and feel your hands, right? Feel the sensation of touching your face. And we do it unconsciously all the time. We touch our faces. A lot of times we're like, oy vey, touching like that. But really feel your head gently. Okay? All right. And then just rest for a second. So that is our preliminary test. And as you repeat this series again and again on the video, you can sense what will be different each time you do it, and how your hands will start having more distinction, more ability to sense. Okay? So this is my first warm up. I have so many different warm ups, but we're going to do this warm up before we continue with the face. So you're going to rub your chest right in the sternum, because the heart is the sun in our own body, and the flower needs the sun for the flower to bloom. So unless the heart is shining, and I use a flat hand here, unless the heart is shining this light, our faces look like this, okay? Like a flower that hasn't gotten water and sun. And so we want to say hello to the heart. Good morning or good evening or whatever time it is when you do this lesson. Say hello, and in a nice but a little bit vigorous way, to get the blood flowing all around your chest, and where these ribs join the sternum bone so that the ribs can move, the lungs can help the heart. And by rubbing like this gently, it may be a little bit tender, so don't go so deep. It's just a matter of getting the blood to move along this pathway and getting the circulation to move, because guess what? It comes up here to the face, okay? This comes up to the face, just like a flower. So this is, I usually like to do this at the very beginning, because it activates the heart. And then when we work with the face now, you see, we touch your face, feel the connection here. Okay. All right. Now, what you're going to need in this series, and I usually mention this right off the bat, but I'm a little late. You need a stone. And a lot of you are like, I don't have a stone like that. It's okay. You can use a glass, okay? Not ceramic, but glass. Or you could use a glass bottle. I just ripped the label off this one, but you could use a glass bottle. Try to get all the sticky stuff off. And glass is pretty much made out of stone, okay? So we want that vibration of stone in the work we do. So this is a smooth stone. You do not want a rough stone on your face. You want a smooth stone. It doesn't need to be polished, but this is a stone I found on the beach, so it's been washed and smoothed out. The other thing you're going to need is a round stick, and this is just literally a stick I found yesterday in the woods, and I just burnished it on a rock. I just rubbed all the rough parts off, and it's nice and smooth now. You could sand it if you want. This is another stick. It's from a shrub. It's really nice and straight. We want your sticks to be straight. You could use a paintbrush for arts. That kind of paintbrush would be pretty good because it's nice and round. You could use a chopstick that's round. You can get creative, but make sure you get a round stick, not one with straight edges, okay? So we'll use that a little later, but we are going to start with the rock, and you are going to work on the ground first as a warm-up, okay? So let's get set up to be on the ground. If you want to be on a bed for this, you can. I usually recommend the floor if you can, but the working on the bed will work, and I'm just going to take a moment to set myself up here on the floor. So get your rock, lie on your back, and you'll put a little something under your head. Okay. Now this will not be at all what you think. What we're going to do is we're going to place the rock on your face, okay? You're not going to rub your face with the rock, okay? That's a different massage technique. This is an awareness tool. I want you to sense, it looks like I'm holding a phone here, but I'm holding a rock. And you're going to just sense the contact of this to the bone in your face. And then we're going to move it a little bit. And I'm turning toward this camera so you can see, but you can have your head in neutral position here a little bit. Relax your elbow, relax your arm. Breathe through your nose. And I gotta say, rocks really settled me down. So just instantly, you know, I could feel the sense of gravity. You know, the rock knows where the ground is, and it's guiding me to settle with it. So let your head, the weight of the rock, and that's why this is a pretty hefty rock. It's not just a little thing, because it has a little weight to it. So you can experiment with the size of the rock. And a glass works pretty good too, because it has a little weight in it. So I've done this with glass, like a clear glass, and it works pretty darn good. You can even use the round bottom part of the glass. You can experiment, especially if you're traveling somewhere and you want to do something calming to your face. And a bottle works nicely too. So anyhow, those are just some options. But moving the rock around, and you don't need to watch this right now, I'll just talk you through it. But moving it around your face and holding it in places. Okay. And we're going to do something a little more complicated in a moment, but right now I just want to be fairly still. So just moving it to different parts of your face and then just letting it settle there. Because very often if you've had either a head injury or a blow to your face or a lot of sinus issues or headaches, you don't want to do tons of movement with your head. You want your head to just settle down. And this may seem like nothing at first, but as you kind of do it for a little bit, your nervous system attunes to this rock. And attunement in nature is a harmony effect, okay? When we harmonize with nature, we come into a better sense of balance. So move the rock like around the ear to different points, to the back of your neck. I can even lift my head and kind of hold, oh, so nice, right in the back of the skull there. Just settling for a moment or two with that rock behind your head. Okay. Now, we don't need to do your entire head right now, but you can spend some time with this on your own. But now what we're going to do is lie on your side. And I'm going to make my blanket folded another level here. So you can use a pillow too if you like, but I like the firmness of the blanket. Okay, and then take your hand that's under your head, put it like around your ear so that the bottom hand could literally push your head up if you needed to. And then you're going to gently place your rock on your cheek somewhere right now. And if you want to watch, you can, but I'll talk you through this. It's hard to watch and do. So in the future, you're just going to have your eyes closed and do these movements. But you're going to push from that underneath hand. Push your head. Keep the rock kind of still, but move your head in like little circles around where the rock is. And it's so nice at the jaw level, on the ear. Move your head in little circles, okay? And move in little circles. And kind of moving the rock to different points and moving your head in little circles. And then over the eye, be very careful with this, but you put the rock right on your eye very gently. Shouldn't push on the eyeball, but you'll feel all around your eye, and then you can move your head a little bit. Breathe through your nose, and then move it by the cheekbone. So this contact with the bones as you move your head, it relaxes the muscles without having to massage them, okay? On the lower chin a little bit, under the chin. Okay, you can do like behind your head a little breathing. Okay, and then we're going to roll to the other side, and I'm just going to switch so that you can see me. Put your hand around your ear so you're able to lift your head if you need to a little with your hand, and the rock gently on your face. And you can feel the difference between your hand and the rock, you know. Wow, that is so amazing to feel the flesh and the bones of one hand compared to the rock on the other. So just notice that. I just love that contrast. And making this circular movement from underneath the rock with your head and hand, and then move the rock to a new place. Breathe through your nose. And just keep exploring. You don't have to do it in the order I'm doing it, but moving the rock on different surface places of your face. You know, make sure you get under your nose or the side of your nose, over your eye. And this looks so darn weird. So don't try to worry about how strange this is. It's not strange when you do it, but if you look at somebody like me on the video, it probably looks pretty weird. Okay, but don't worry about that. Just enjoy the sensation. Take your hand behind your head. Breathe through your nose. That's wonderful. And then let's rest on your back. So just lie on your back and rest. And you could rest with your legs long, or you can keep them bent. And just rest for a moment and feel now your head resting, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, your pelvis, the spine. Let your whole body settle. And just imagine light coming down from above you and just washing your face, cleaning old, dust and stuff, whatever it is. Just let it wash off, melt off. It's like a car that needs to be washed really badly. Just let it, this light, and let it go in your face so it washes all the way off the bones. Deep cleansing of your face, and then your scalp area and everything. And let's rub your hands. And now, as you place your hands on your face, just feel your face now. And lightly bring your hands onto your face. So you're touching and removing your hands and sensing your face and your head. And flowers are very delicate, and the skin on our face is also one of the most delicate areas in the body. You could stop and rest. So that the face, when we touch ourselves, we don't touch roughly. We don't have to massage deeply. The face it's highly innervated, so you don't need to work hard at relaxing it, okay? In fact, when you touch, you can touch again now, just the softest touch will have more of a response than a strong touch, okay? And this is where your hands will start to learn how to touch in this very soft, easy way, and then rest again. And just feel how that relaxes the hands themselves. So feeling as if the sun now is shining on your face and just warming, clearing your face. And the sun in your heart is also shining outwardly and up through your face, so that there is this clearing effect coming from the inside, but also from the outside, so that the face is supported from within and without. How beautiful is that? And that each one of us have this long lineage, you know, of ancestors that is now revealed in each of us. It's pretty darn cool. All right, take your time. Let's roll to your side and we'll come up to sit again. And you're going to grab your stick this time. Okay. So I'm going to take my little stick. I prefer the little stick, but you can experiment with the diameter of your stick. And it's great to be flexible and try different things. So if you've got a bigger, thicker one this time, no worries. And the other thing is you can experiment with getting a green stick that's a little more bendable, and it'll have a different vibration in it. It'll have more live energy, and that could be very interesting. So in Chinese medicine, there's a wood element in there, you know, and the wood element, I don't want to say too much about it because I want us to discover that element, just like you can feel the rock element. You know, words can't quite do justice to these elements in life. The element of fire, right? The element of air. So here we have this piece of wood, and so sacred, yeah, trees and shrubs, so sacred. So before we begin, I would like you to tap your heels, feel the bone connection to the ground. That's our rooting. We've done a lot of that in past classes, but if you haven't taken past classes, we'll do it here too. So you tap your heel, sense the bone connecting with the ground. All right, now we're going to take this stick and you're going to place it on the bridge of your nose. Okay, looks kind of cool. And now we're going to roll down the bridge. And as you do this, you feel the contact of the stick rolling on the bone of your nose and then the cartilage to the tip of your nose and then under your nose. So then we have like that, the nose ring effect, the nose stick effect, and then coming down to your upper lip. And you can feel this area. Let's roll up and down that area a little bit. So if you're British, you know that expression, the stiff upper lip. Well, you're gonna go beyond your heritage now and lengthen your lip a little bit as you roll down. And now you're in the lip part, and this is a really sensitive region, okay? So on the lip and then the lower lip, go on the lower lip. Look how I can't talk as well when I'm on my lower lip. You can play with it too. Try talking. It's very weird. Go back to your upper lip. You can talk pretty good with a stiff upper lip, you see? Now let's go to the lower lip and you could try talking there. And it's really interesting. And then go below your lower lip. Now that's a really interesting place. There's some nerves that come out of there. Feel that region and come down into the chin. So as you come toward the chin, sense your chin. Where is the tip of it? Oh, it's hard to find exact tip of your chin. And then go underneath. Underneath, that's a really important place because that's how your neck is sort of sewed on to that chin. All right, so you can push your head a little bit and you can feel, wow, you've got yourself there. Okay, if you nod by pushing your chin up and down. Okay, now let's come straight through your throat, and we're going for where your tongue attaches to your throat. Okay, and you can make a little sound. feel it's maybe easier if you spoke to find where is the hyoid bone, the bone where the tongue attaches. It's kind of right in the middle of your throat there. Or if you swallow, yeah, you can feel it there too because you use your tongue to swallow. And then you go down below that and go toward your collarbone. Okay. And the collarbone, it kind of arcs a little bit, but you can feel where now you're really on some bone, and stay there. We could keep going, but we're gonna just stay there. Okay. Now, let's just take a quick moment to pause, put your stick down. So now let's continue with the stick. So this time I want you to close your eyes. I'll talk you through it. And this is fun to watch, but I don't want you to watch anymore. I want you to focus really internally. This entire series with the face is not so much about mirroring me, but feeling your face from the inside coming out, okay? It is fun to watch, but let's go inward now and bring the stick to the bridge of your nose, and let's go down your nose, slower this time. Maybe roll back and forth in certain places. Like I've got a little bump on my nose. Most people have a tiny little bump on their nose, but some people have very, like, these perfectly straight noses, you lucky people. Straight noses. That's right. And then they probably like the little bumps. Everybody, curly hair or straight hair people, you know how that goes. And then go to the tip of your nose eventually. Find where is the very tip of the nose, and then come under. So underneath the nose, where the septum is, and where the septum connects to the top of your upper lip area. Okay, and you can gently roll. We're not trying to pull or stretch anything here. We're trying to feel the bones that are right smack in the middle of your face. Okay, if you're an artist, this is so helpful to know where the middle line is, and then come to find the top of your lip without looking, sensing it. Where does the lip begin and where does the skin end? And then where are you on your lip? Right? And feeling your lip. Go back and forth, rolling a little bit there, and then go to the next lip. And feel that lip. Oh, interesting. Feel that lip. And then go below that lip. And to the hollow as you approach the chin. That's right. Down toward the tip of your chin and feeling the chin, and then under your chin. And you can lean gently, don't break your stick, but lean your chin on the stick a little. Feel how lovely that is. It's this wonderful, place of feeling. Where is your head looking at the horizon without opening your eyes? You can kind of get a sense of it by holding the stick there. And then come further under your throat. Be gentle, not too much pressure because there aren't bones there. Now we're into your trachea, basically, right? And esophagus as well. And so feeling that area, and where that hyoid bone is, where your tongue attaches. And when you swallow, you can play now and then with swallowing, and drop your elbows to relax so your shoulders relax, coming down toward your collarbone. Okay, and then at the collarbone, just stay there for a second. You can maybe rock a little forward and back on your hips just to find and tap your heels, find the floor. And this connection from your collarbone now to your head, It's so beautiful. It's so delicate, the skin here and everything, but so solid now that you've connected. Now let's roll back up and go down that midline or up the midline. And I'm holding the outer edges of my stick rather than right on the midline. You can experiment with that too, but I think it's a little better holding the outer edges. And then working up toward the lower lip eventually. And kind of now and then, and there's areas you don't feel so clearly when you repeat this lesson, go a little slower and roll back and forth in places that are a little numb to you, where you don't sense the bones, okay? And if you've had dental issues, or, you know, you got hit in the face somehow or fell on your face, really be gentle with this, because it's so clearing of old feelings of all kinds, both emotional, physical, yeah, and then working to the bridge of the nose. And now we're going to go up. You don't need to open your eyes. Stay closed eyes if you can. Go from the bridge up the center of your forehead, right? And this, oh my gosh, right? If you're a frowner, if you are somebody struggling to see, you know, difficulty with vision, really take some time playing with rolling through this for a moment, breathing. Let the sun shine in there, okay? Let the sun in. And then keep going up to the hairline. Where is your hairline? And if you don't have so much hair anymore, keep searching for it. All right, maybe you have memories of the hairline. Okay, and keep going up your head. Okay, and play now. There's a lot of tension sometimes with people's heads. So this one, be careful. Sometimes your hair might get wound up in the stick, so you just have to figure out how to do that. Drop your shoulders, relax your elbows. And then where is the very tip top of your head? How can you figure that out? The eyes at the horizon. Pause at the very top of your head. And then let's go back over the hump, over the top of your head. Go over the top. And this is so healing if you have balance issues, okay, where you have difficulty not tripping, or you bump your head a lot. This is a great lesson. Keep coming down your head till you get to the back of your head. Now drop your elbows as you need, drop your shoulders, and get to that occiput area and put the stick back there and rock your head up and down a little bit. Okay, rock and roll your head there. And let's have to stop because we're running out of time. So let's take away your stick. Rub your hands. Breathe. Now let's touch our faces. Feel the two sides now, the right and the left, divided by that midline, okay? And underneath the throat too, feel this area behind your head. You can even feel your hair, okay? So there is so much more to explore with this series, and I'm going to give you homework now, but the stick, it's such a powerful tool, you know, amazing little tool. So I want to just make sure that when you do this, that you don't do much at a time. And some people have asked, you know, how many times shall I do this lesson a day? And I'm like, oh, not too many times, because your face is so responsive. I would say not more than twice a day. I think I might have said 3 times, but I think twice a day is like a lot, and maybe once might be plenty, okay? And really be careful, because the reason you don't want to overdo, and the stone too, right? be careful, because when you apply awareness, it's so much deeper than just massaging tissue. You're going to unearth like old vintage material in this space, okay? And we all have our vintage material, and we want some time to air it out. And so, you know, you want to be very gentle. And, you know, let's just do some stroking to finish here, but be very gentle with your face, especially if you've been teased a lot or criticized or had acne, or just feel like you've had low self-esteem about how you've looked in your life, or people were very cruel about your looks. Take it slow here, because the other assignment, besides just playing with the lessons in this particular class, is to find what flowers you connect with this week, and maybe buy some and bring them home if it's not the season to have flowers that you can cut in your yard, or that you've got some growing. Have a flower around, and really just hang out with the flower and see what draws you in with this flower, okay? So that's your assignment. I'll talk more about flowers next time. With the rock, the same thing as the stick, you know, really have respect for these elements. These are deep in our bones. The rock is like our bones. And so it has a vibrational effect. And as we keep studying this, you'll figure out what that is, okay? All right, so this is class 1. As you can tell, I'm very excited about this material, and we'll go in a lot more depth into the face, into talking more about emotion, into working with the heart. So I'll open it up now for questions and comments and things like that. But thanks for joining me, and I will see you next class. To kind of see each other a little bit right now, because you'll be in the series together. But anyhow, just to you have a chance, or even you can see yourself because of the way Zoom is, you can see your own face, and just to notice through the series how it will shift. I'm really excited about this series. I think it's going to be fun. And your hands, yeah, because something changed in how you're touching. Did you feel that? More refinement with the hands, like even if you move them in space now, do they feel lighter? Yeah, you kind of wiggle them, the fingers. Yeah. Well, they really are different. You know, I have this other rock I really like that's, I don't know if you can see it's purple, has a little spot in the middle. And yeah, and they've come from different places. The colors have a certain quality that attracts you, and the minerals that are in them attract you. You know, there's a lot to say about the rocks, but I'll let you tell me about that more as you play with rocks in this next month. It's going to be fun to see how we all feel and look at the end of this one. You know, flowers are so disarming, right? They soften the blow. If you have something you've got to do and you give someone flowers, it shifts your energy, it shifts their energy. It's a peace offering. You often see in my article I wrote, I showed that woman offering a flower to the shoulder, you know, a soldier in Vietnam. It's an amazing power that flowers have. And our faces, when they have a loving energy to them, when they have a vital energy, it's irresistible. It's like a baby, right? If you see a baby, there is something like a halo around them, because they are so pure love. You know, the expression of the heart is just dazzling in babies and in all babies. And I feel like that is a great teaching of not only about humanity, but about flowers themselves, and about this softness that has this powerful strength. Something I think our culture, our Western culture particularly, that's gotten very hard-edged, and that's the thing about the stone, you could say, oh, stones are hard and stuff, but the contrast creates this of softness, creates a power. I don't know. It's fascinating to me. Freeing our ancestors, our ancestors say, go for it,
Yeah, do now.
help us out here.
Yeah. Sing a different tune. Eh?
Yeah, we're tired of holding our lips like that. Let's you make the change, Yeah, I think this will be, it'll be fun, but it might be emotional for many people as you clear your face. But, whether you have to cry or whatever, see if you can think of it as, what do you call it? Rite of passage. This is a rite of passage time to clear some old things out of the closet. And it doesn't you don't have to be fearful of it. You don't have to hurry through this. You have all the time you need. But it's so gentle, and the flowers are so supportive. I think it'll be a loving way to put something to rest that maybe you've carried for a long time in your faces. Yeah. So, play with finding what stick. It's so funny and this is just a random stick I found on the beach, and then, you can just rub it on a stick, and you can take all the rough edges out. You can take the bark off or leave the bark on and just smooth the bark. You could use sandpaper too, but I often just use rocks to burnish something to smooth something out, because a good rough rock is just like sandpaper. So another comment that I might add is just, I'll be talking a little more through this series about the elements. And in Chinese medicine, you have 5 elements, which they add the wood element. But in Ayurvedic, they have 4 elements that they go by. And when we work with the earth, this is actually like more metal, rock is sort of more of the metal element, but it's the earth element too. And the earth is supporting us to ground and to release. So the rock, it was so aptly put in that comment, it's very absorbing. And in Ayurvedic medicine, it's the kapha, okay, the mother, the energy that can absorb and hold. And so the rock is very much holding us. And so often, when you're sad or something, you hold your face like this, but feel the difference if you hold look how that is, right? Oh, it's like a mother holding you, right? So very interesting to feel the elements here, okay? And the wood has this sap energy, especially if you have a green stick. I think it would be even different. I don't know, better, but different, right? With a green stick. And so the element of wood, I don't want to go into all the elements today in the discussion, but to explore this when you practice on your own, how your body responds to the elements, because then when you're outdoors, your body will start more harmonizing quicker with the natural environment, which we desperately need to learn how to do, because we've been indoors so much for generations now, a couple generations, and we've lost this connection with nature as a society, and really listening. And we have to listen to nature right now. There's so much change on the planet with global warming and the birds and the tides and the melting ice and all this. To really harmonize ourselves like this, it will be stabilizing for us. as we go through the changes that are going on all over the planet right now. So I find rocks enormously stabilizing and holding of the emotional condition that's going on right now, particularly with grief, but any emotion. It will help you move these emotions through the body so that you can be clear, and also like that, like the flower. Yeah. And what a joy to meet one another with that kind of connection. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Allergies and sinus has a lot to do with boundaries. And, you know, what I'm hearing just in the question is that you could experiment with this a little bit, because rocks, you know, think about rock wall is like the epitome of a boundary. But just to kind of play with your face and the sinuses with the rock, it will relax and open the sinuses a little bit, okay? Which will be helpful, because a lot of times with irritation, there's a tendency, like if you've got a chemical response to an irritant like pollen or something, the body goes into this kind of constriction, right? And how to make friends with it, and also how to teach your body how to work with the irritant so it doesn't get hyper irritated by it. That's the psychology effect, okay, where our minds can start to work with things that irritate us, and how to move in harmony, how to find the balance. And I couldn't say per se what to do with them, but I would experiment with that idea of working with constriction and opening, and then even communicating with the body directly and saying, what do you need? How do we interact with the pollen so that we don't have to shut down and, you know, do that so much? I don't know. I mean, this is how animals and humans have adapted. How can we work with our bodies? How can we communicate with the body directly to learn how to adapt to something that's irritating us?
Thank you.
Big question. It's a big question, but it's worth pursuing and experimenting with. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm all about vibrational work. Like, how much can we do this on a vibrational level without so many drugs and technology? And yes, herbs are a vibration. Food is a vibration. If we're eating something that's irritating us, then stop doing that for a while, and then see what can you shift inside of you. And then can you slowly bring that thing back and not be so irritated by it, right? Because it's sort of hard to live with a lot of things that might be irritating, but how can we learn to adapt in a gentle manner? I mean, one of the reasons I'm teaching this course is my face has been so tense for a while. Not tense, but just really, I've been frowning a lot and things, you know, and so I'm like, you know, I just got to really work with myself a little bit here. So that's one of my reasons. It's very selfish doing this series. I wanted to go really deep into this. I know some things, but I want to really devote some time. And also with COVID, with wearing a mask, oh my gosh, you know, it is not fun wearing that mask. And it's, a lot of people have a lot of anxiety with it, and also not being able to see the face. And so, you know, really loving our faces right now is, I think, a good idea. So that's where this is coming from for me. Yeah, this isn't so much about how to move your face, and it's not about you know, how to just simply relax the face, but it's clearing clearing your face of unnecessary tension. And that certainly is true to the Feldenkrais work, but I'm also looking at this from a nature point of view and from Ayurveda and what is our true face, you know? How can we get out of the way so that our faces can be seen? So you have your assignment, yeah? So play with different sticks if you want, you know, just see what you will kind of report back and see what you found, and the same with the stones. Find which stone seems to really work for you and why is it? Why do you feel that that's the stone for you? That's kind of interesting. And then which flowers are attractive for you and why do you think that flower? Is it the color? Does it smell a certain way? And you know, flowers engage our full senses, our eyes, everything. And they have a vibration. So feel what it is about the flower for you and report back. Okay? All right then. Good to see you all.